I absolutely love Wii Sports, and the Wii itself for that matter. I consider it to be my favourite console of all time, and likely it's going to stay that way. I don't think any other console comes close to capturing the simplicity of the Wii and some of its games. The Wii series of games, for example, basic motion control games that anyone can understand, yet they're set in this environment that's so simple yet pleasing to look at. Populated with the Miis that you yourself has created. Like, I never thought I'd see my grandma swimming. Everything about it I find incredibly unique, with the music, menus, and consistent tone that define Nintendo throughout the Wii and DS era. Like, Nintendo peaked right here in 2006 with this design for Wii Play. Even beyond the Wii series of games, Nintendo developed so many solid titles. Mario Kart Wii, Super Mario Galaxy, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. These games and so many more have led me to sinking hours and hours into my Wii. So, this has all led me to amass a pretty decent collection of Wii games, which now I'm trying to collect all the first party titles that Nintendo has released. I have a majority of them and I have a few other smaller collections, but overall my Wii collection is the biggest that I own and probably the one I'm most proud of, even going as far to make sure all the games are complete with their manuals and are all the Australian released copies. I figured I'd make a more high quality video going over my personal history with the Wii and how I've managed to collect some of these games, some of the rarer games in my collection, and a few that I'm still trying to get. I grew up with the PS3. That's only because it came bundled with a brand new Sony TV that my dad bought, which we primarily just used as a DVD player, so I could watch Cars over and over and over again. It wasn't until my sister bought Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing and we played it religiously that I realised you could play games on it. I slowly got more games for my PlayStation, but I primarily just used it as a way of playing Minecraft and Lego games. It wasn't until 2017, when the Switch released in March, that I fully realised Nintendo were the company behind Splatoon and Mario Maker, which I'd played on a mate's Wii U a few years prior. And of course, they were the company behind the Wii. Now I had an understanding of Nintendo games and their unique charm, and what the company was all about. I came to realise that the Wii was Nintendo's creation, and the memories of playing Wii Sports at cousins' and neighbours' places was because of them. So after that realisation, I knew I needed one. I needed a Switch, which I got for Christmas in 2017 and played the shit out of it over summer, but I still badly wanted a Wii for myself. At the beginning of 2018, I was lucky enough to be given a Wii off a close family friend, which had been stored in their shed since 2008. Through the summer of 2018, I played heaps of Mario Kart Wii, Smash Bros. Brawl, and of course, even more Wii Sports. Slowly throughout that year, I got more games, Wii Fit, Wii Sports Resort, Mario Galaxy, and just more essential titles. Majority of the games I was buying were from EB Games in Australia, but around 2019 they decided to stop selling pre-owned Wii games, which is probably a good thing because they were always fucking overpriced, even though they were apparently always on sale. The last game I remember buying from EB Games was the new Super Mario Bros. Wii, but after this I had nowhere to go to buy more Wii games. By the time 2019 came around, I was pretty much just playing my Switch. By the end of that year, I got into playing games on my PC instead. However, the Beatles are my favourite band of all time, so at the start of 2020 I decided to get the Beatles Rock Band and probably played that religiously for about a whole month. However, my Wii was soon forgotten about. As 2021 kicked on, I got a proper PC, and during COVID, that was pretty much the only thing I played. During this time, I got really into playing some of the older Sonic games that were available on Steam, specifically both Sonic Adventure games. And since Sonic Adventure 1 is one of my favourite games of all time, I decided that during 2021 I was going to try and start ordering all physical Sonic games I could find that were available for the Wii. Around this time I picked up more titles like the Rock Band, Guitar Hero games, and even Mario Party 8. This then kickstarted the feeling of wanting to collect more games physically, specifically Wii games. Around this time, collectibles and antique stores began to open in my area, all having stalls stocked with video games. These places helped to fuel my addiction to buying games. I was mainly buying PS2 and Xbox 360 games from these places, but also trying to keep a keen eye out for Wii games. I managed to pick up Mario Galaxy 2, Super Paper Mario, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Then I realised something. Shit. I can only get all Nintendo published Wii games. And since then, that has been my mission. If I've counted correctly, I believe Nintendo has published 53 Wii games here in Australia, spanning from 2006 up to 2012. And I'm pretty sure I own 38 of those games. Before I begin, there are a few key titles that didn't release here in Australia. The two main ones being Kirby's Dream Collection and Super Mario Sluggers. Now I'll be honest, I don't own any massively rare Wii games. The games I do own are more uncommon and range around $50 plus. Beginning with Mario Party 9, which I paid around $40 for off a charity website. The main reason this game is rare is probably it released in late 2012, the same year as the Wii U. Similarly, Pokemon Park 2 released that same year, and is also quite hard to find in Australia, to the point of where I couldn't even find any online listings for this game, making me think that perhaps it didn't release here in Australia. However, I was soon proven wrong after I found a copy for cheap on Facebook Marketplace and picked it up shortly after. Similarly, Poké Park 1 is also quite an expensive game. However, it's a bit more common, but I managed to get my copy for free as my old workplace had Wiis they were throwing away and a couple games. This was one of them, and I managed to pick it up for free. A few years back, I also managed to find Kirby's Epic Yarn for a good price. Then I got Endless Ocean 2, which is probably the cheapest of these rare games, likely just being in low demand and a pretty obscure franchise by Nintendo. Lastly, the best game I ever found was Wii Party, which is a surprisingly rare Wii game, usually going for around $50, but I managed to find a copy for just $6. Most of the Nintendo games I'm still missing are unfortunately really expensive, with a lot of them being well over $100. And these games are most likely going to stop me from getting a full collection, because it would be pretty stupid to waste hundreds of dollars on these games, so I can only hope to stumble across them pretty cheap. The games that go for over $100, Pokemon Battle Revolution, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, Donkey Kong Jet Race, Punch-Out, and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Quick cut needed here. As I was doing research for this video, found out that Rhythm Heaven Fever, or Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise as it's known in Power Region, did release in Australia, and it used to be a really cheap game sold at EB Games, but now it's worth about $250. So add that to this list, and this will more be on the next list, but Fortune Street did come out in Australia. It's called fucking Rhythm Street. That's going to fit on the next list. Now there are more games that are in the middle range price, but I'm still hoping to get these games as they aren't far out of my budget. The first Endless Ocean game, even though I own the second one, Wario Land Shake It, Mario Sports Mix, Xenoblade Chronicle, and Kirby's Big Adventure for Wii. And the last few games are all pretty cheap, mostly around $15. However, they're sort of uncommon as you wouldn't even know these are Nintendo made games. Most of the listings for these games I see online are from the other side of Australia, meaning you have to pay about 50% of what they're worth just to ship them over here. But regardless, they're much cheaper than the other games I've covered. The first game is actually a launch title, Excite Truck. Then you got Battalion Wars, Samurai Warriors 3, and Mystery Case Files, The Malgrave Incident. I'm only missing 2 of the possible Sonic games that are available. One of the games is Sonic Unleashed. Now I already own the PS3 version, however, as most of you are probably aware, the Wii version is a completely different game developed by Dimps. They scrapped the hub world and replaced it with menus and also removed some of the stages. And the final game I'm missing is Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. As I mentioned, the PS3 version was the first game I ever owned, so frankly, for the sake of memories, I'd like to get this version on the Wii.